Hey parents, this video is about time management, helping your child with it. So as your kids get older, at the beginning when they're younger, we manage their time, right? We tell them where they have to be, when they have to be there. We get them prepared for it. We get all their stuff organized, right, when they're little. And then as they get older, they get more on their own in terms of getting their supplies together, knowing where their stuff is, and managing what they're going to do when. So once they're hitting, end of elementary school age or middle school age, they're really starting to manage a lot of this stuff on their own. And your expectation is that they're going to get their homework done and they're going to get all of if they have chores, they're going to get those done. And you have ideas about when they're going to get things done, but they may have a little trouble managing that. So they may, number one, they might need to get help prioritizing what's the most important thing. And they might also need help knowing where to fit everything in, okay? So if you're finding that your child is struggling with this, one recommendation I'm going to give you is to have a big giant, this is like supposed to be a picture of one of those big giant calendars. It could be like a whiteboard one, or it could be one of those big paper ones that you put on a desk, but have it be a big calendar, and you could put in all the due dates with them, right? So maybe there's a big English project due, on this Friday or whatever. So you write it in there, and then you can look at it and say, okay, we've got 2 weeks to get it ready. What do we need to get organized? What materials do we need? What are the steps we need to take, and sort of work backwards? Say, okay, this is the due date. What do we need to do all these other days before then to be prepared for it? I went the wrong way. Sorry. This way. So if that makes sense, kind of working backwards and helping them make a plan. And then literally having them figure out what their night is going to be. So they get home at 3 o'clock, maybe they get a little free time, have a little snack, do some homework, then maybe they have dinner, then maybe they go to basketball. I don't know what their schedule is. Then they have a little more of time for homework, and then they go to bed, really blocking it out and thinking about, for basketball, it's probably not just 6 to 7. It's probably more like 5:45 to 7:15, because you've got to travel there. You've got to do whatever you have to do and get home, and they have to shower. So like really blocking in everything that you have to do so that the night doesn't get away from them, and they don't say, oh my gosh, I never did my homework, right? By writing it down like this, you're doing something called making time visual. And for a lot of kids, this does not come naturally. And I think it doesn't come naturally if you think about it, because we kind of do this for them when they're younger. They're not forced to think about this kind of a schedule. And so it's just something you have to learn, right? So by writing it out with them when they're at the beginning, as they're starting to get older, I think it'll really help them later on to be able to visualize their evening and be able to really plan it out well. They might notice that they have more time than they thought they had, or they have less time, right? It just depends on the person. The other thing you can do to help make time visual is there are those little time timers that you can actually watch the time going down. If you don't have one of those, which I don't have one of those at the moment, you could use your phone. You could set the timer on the phone and just do that sometimes, like when they're doing their homework, or maybe if they're doing the dishes, they can time themselves and see how long it takes, just to start to get a sense of how long is 5 minutes, how long is 10 minutes, to really wrap their head around that, because that can be hard for kids to really have a good sense of that. So that's my thing about time management. And then helping them figure out what is the most important thing to do right now. So if they've got, math homework and they're supposed to read and they have vocabulary or something, what's due tomorrow? What is going to take the longest? Maybe have them organize in their head, do they want to start with the easiest thing? Do they want to start with the hardest thing? Have them sort of decide what works for them, and then help them prioritize where they want to start. Okay, I hope that helps. Thanks.